I really like camping, especially after school with my friends. We pack sodas, gather gear, and go outside to have fun. But at school, my sorority sisters and other friends don't really want to go camping. So when I miss the excitement of camping, I just decide to go by myself one day. The weather is really nice, so I grab my stuff, get in my friend's car, and go to a quiet place not too far from town, just in case I need help. Camping can be a bit spooky sometimes, but that makes it exciting. It's like reading scary stories for fun. I set up a small camp, make a fire, and enjoy the quietness. That's my perfect day. While I'm exploring the area, I suddenly feel like someone is watching me. I stop and hear a twig snap to my right. A deer runs away about 100 feet in front of me. I laugh at myself and go back to my campsite with some firewood. But for some reason, I keep thinking I hear sounds just outside the light from my fire. I tend to imagine things, but I just ignore it. At about 1 in the morning, I decide to go inside my tent and turn off the lantern. I'm drinking sodas and smoking cheap cigars in a not-so-ladylike way, and I fall asleep pretty quickly. However, around 2 o'clock, I hear footsteps. It might just be another deer or a raccoon because I left some food out, but I stay alert. After half sleeping for about 30 minutes with one eye open, I hear a rubbing noise. Tent fabric is being pushed a bit. I should be scared, but I stay still, holding my knife. I want to stab through the tent fabric, but I resist, hoping it's just my friends playing a prank since I told them where I'd be that night. Suddenly, it stops. I start feeling a bit safer because daylight is a few hours away, but I'm not going back to sleep. At about 4 in the morning, I thought it would be a good idea to put on my boots, just in case. I'd been staying awake and alert. Suddenly, my friend's car alarm went off, and I quickly got out of my tent. But then, something grabbed me around the mouth and I couldn't scream. The person's pinky finger ended up between my teeth, and without thinking, I bit it off. The person screamed, pulled away, and ran downhill. I went in the opposite direction and eventually reached a nearby house. I was a complete mess, wearing a sleeveless shirt, boxers, steel-toe boots, and there was blood coming down from my lip because I accidentally bit myself. I explained what happened to the people in the house, and they called the police. They gave me some proper clothes, and the person at the house made me a whiskey and coke, which stung, but it was worth it. When the police arrived, they checked out the scene. In the daylight, they accompanied me back to the spot, and that's when I saw something even more terrifying. Close to my tent, there's a red gas can. It's kind of scary because someone could have easily set my tent on fire. What's even weirder is that my finger is missing, and it seems like the person who took it came back for some reason. The creepy part is that they never caught the person responsible. So there's this guy out there somewhere missing a pinky, maybe just going about his day. Now, here's the surprising part. While the police are looking into what happened, one of them notices a strange symbol carved into a tree nearby. It's not just any random carving. It's a symbol that local authorities think is connected to a bunch of unsolved disappearances in the area. Turns out, the camping spot has a dark history. The police told me some scary stuff, and now I'm really freaked out. I'm thinking about the weird sounds and noises I heard when I was camping. Could they be related to this strange symbol? The police want to watch the area, and they suggest I don't camp there anymore. As I think about what happened, I can't help but wonder if I found something really bad, not just a random person. Maybe the symbol is connected to the creepy things that happened during my camping trip. I'm left feeling really scared and wondering if I got away from danger or if there's something even scarier hiding in the woods. When I was in middle school, I went on a camping trip one summer. The campsite was about 2 hours from the nearest town. It was a real camping adventure, but the place wasn't in the best condition. It had a kitchen and a bathroom, which was better than just using tents, but everything looked kind of old and worn out. During the day, we did fun things like hiking and fishing. At night, we had campfires and played daring games. On the first night, I joined a challenge called the Test of Courage. The task was to go into the dark woods alone, without a flashlight, and stay there for a bit. The teachers warned us not to run or scream because it might attract wild animals. They mentioned something about kids going missing in the past, which sounded weird, but back then, we thought it was just a part of the fun. I was walking in the dark woods with my teachers and their flashlights. It was really quiet, just bugs and trees making noise. When we got to our spot, the teachers turned off their lights, and it got super dark. I felt alone in the silence. The air was warm, and I heard noises in the bushes. Some animal barked far away. After a while, the lights came back, and we went back to the campsite together. The teachers made funny comments about how fortunate we were not to come across anything scary. The rest of the night was quiet, and nothing special happened. The next day, my friend, who took the dare with me, seemed afraid. She kept looking towards the cliffs, saying she could see kids with red faces down there. When I checked, all I saw was a stream. We told the teachers, but they couldn't see anything. Life at the camp was going fine, and kids usually forget things quickly. Later that night, as I was almost falling asleep in my sleeping bag, I heard whispers around me. The mood changed from being happy to serious, and I saw two girls leaning over another girl who was sitting on the floor, saying she was in pain. She mentioned feeling crushed. Right in front of us, she folded, and it looked like something heavy was on her back. She screamed, and everyone in the tent got scared. The teachers hurried in, one of them carrying a bottle of salt. He sprinkled it around and tapped the girl on the back. Surprisingly, she stopped crying and screaming. It was like nothing had happened. After that, everything went back to normal, and we went home without any problems. On the bus ride while going home, I talked with friends and kids from different groups about what happened at the strange mountain camp. Some had different experiences, like seeing a kid standing still in the outhouse or weird shadowy figures. The mountains turned out to be a really odd place. My friend, who saw kids with red faces, has been scared of mountains ever since. While chatting on the bus, I overheard two teachers in the front talking about the campsite. They mentioned that the school chose it because it's secluded. The school wanted to give us a unique and challenging experience, pushing our limits in a controlled environment. I couldn't stop thinking about the weird things that happened and the spooky feeling in the air. It seemed like the teachers planned some of those experiences to make our camping trip more exciting. Maybe the dare in the woods and the strange stuff were all part of their plan to make the adventure mysterious and thrilling for us. I realized that the teachers wanted to make the camp really memorable, and they did a great job. It felt like we were in a real-life mystery, and the unexpected events made the whole experience something we'd never forget. Even though the campsite looked old and not so great, it turned into the perfect place for an exciting adventure that we'd be talking about for a long time. As the bus kept moving, I couldn't help but think about how much work the teachers had put into making a cool story for our camping trip. It made me look at the whole experience in a new way, and the scared and excited feelings I had in the woods are now special memories from middle school. The surprising twist in our camping story turned a regular trip into an amazing adventure. Before I continue to the next story, if you are interested in earning from YouTube without showing your face, or without making videos by yourself using artificial intelligence, like the video that you are watching right now, then I have a special free training for you. Check the first link in the description below to get instant access. Jake and I were in a pretty calm place in nature as we set up our camp near a shiny lake. My friend Max and I were excited to have an adventure away from the busy city. But we didn't know that our calm camping trip was about to become a really scary experience. When the sun went down and it got dark, we started feeling uneasy. Quiet night was interrupted by the faraway sound of a coyote howling, which made me feel scared. Max and I looked at each other nervously, feeling like something was wrong. During our first night in the wild, we heard mysterious whispers in the dark. Soft, unclear murmurs gave us chills. We strained our ears, trying to understand the eerie sounds, but they stayed just out of reach. We got scared when we realized we weren't alone. The whispers turned into footsteps as we explored deeper into the woods the next day. We found an old cabin hidden among the trees, with boarded-up windows and an overgrown yard. It seemed like nobody had been there for a long time. Max and I looked at each other nervously, feeling a mix of curiosity and fear. Who could be living out here, so far from civilization? As time went by, weird things kept happening at our camp. Strange noises in the bushes, things moving on their own. It felt like there was an invisible trickster messing with us, finding joy in scaring us. Our excitement turned into fear. And then we saw her. A woman, looking worn out and untamed, came out of the forest. She had ragged clothes, and her eyes seemed lost. Our gut feelings told us to run away because of danger, but we couldn't resist the urge to stay and see what would happen. A scary lady came to our campsite. She had a creepy smile and talked in a weird way, like she was crazy. She said she lived in the wild for a long time, away from people. But there was something really unsettling about her. Her eyes looked dark and scary. We had bad dreams thinking about the scary things she might do. Her messy look and strange actions made us wonder if she was sane. Were we just innocent people who happened to find a troubled person? Or were we the ones she wanted to harm? Day by day, things got scarier. This mysterious lady, hiding in the shadows, kept bothering us. We couldn't escape from her. We were stuck in her wild kingdom, where she acted like a really mean queen. One evening, while we were sitting around the campfire, just trying to talk and feel better, something unexpected happened. My friend Max and I found an old, worn-out journal near the cabin. We opened it and discovered that the woman was actually a scientist. She used to study plants and animals here until a terrible accident happened, and she lost her whole team. Feeling alone and hurt, she sought comfort in the wilderness. As we kept reading, we found out that she wasn't the one causing trouble. Instead, there was another person hiding in the shadows, making her life difficult. We were surprised and felt sorry for her. We realized we were wrong about her and decided to help her deal with the real problem. In the next few days, we rushed to figure out who this mysterious person was. We talked quietly by the campfire, putting together the information we had gathered. The strange noises in the bushes and weird movements of things now made sense. It was the creepy person hiding in the background. We used to be scared of the woman, but as we worked together to find the truth, things changed. We were getting closer to solving the mystery, even though the mysterious person was still hard to catch. We felt really tense, and every step in the woods seemed like we might run into the real danger. Finally, on a foggy morning, we found a secret cave near the cabin. Inside, we discovered proof of what the mysterious person had been up to, a collection of stolen things, maps showing where the woman went, and a scary journal with plans to make her go crazy. It turned out the true threat was a person who had gone a bit crazy and thought the woman was invading his territory. We got really scared, but instead of staying afraid, we decided to be brave and deal with the survivalist who was causing trouble. We made a plan to catch him by using things he had stolen as bait. When it got dark, things got really tense. We could feel that he was getting closer. Finally, we confronted him, and it was a really intense and scary fight. We had to fight really hard to stay alive. There was blood, and some of us got hurt, but in the end, we won. Survivalist gave up and admitted he was doing bad things. We handed him over to the authorities so they could take care of him. Once, a scary forest turned into a safe place after a woman, who seemed dangerous at first, thanked us with tears in her eyes. As we packed up and left, we promised to appreciate our lives and never forget how important safety is. The forest, once a scary place, became a reminder of how strong people can be and why it's crucial to understand before judging. Our experience stuck with us, a story of how life is fragile. People can be really bad, but we can also be really strong. We faced something really scary, got hurt but stayed strong, and left a forest that was forever different because of our tough journey.